For a story where Captain Adamant is evil, this could be much worse. That is my attempt at doing that thing they do with trailers now, where the first 6 seconds are a preview for the trailer that you are about to watch. Fucking stupid, isn't it? This is Days of Future's End, the Justice League one-shot, which is part 2 of a story that began in Days of Future's End, Justice League United. I didn't know more than half the characters on this Justice League team, and having read this story, I still didn't. By this point, it's also easy to forget that this is meant to be a tie-in to Days of Future's End. We are on Mars, and there was a prison on Mars that held the deadliest and most dangerous super criminals from Earth. But now there has been a breakout, and the Justice League are trying to quell that. But the big threat is that one of the prisoners was Captain Atom Ant. This is based on the New 52 canon, so Captain Atom Ant is not really the character that I like. He is an off-brand Dr. Manhattan from the best-selling graphic novel Watching Men. Very uninspired to make the character into a character he inspired. But who the blinking heck is this guy? I've never seen him before in me life. Is this a New 52 character that nobody remembers? Or even worse, is he a Days of Future's End character that nobody remembers? But you know what? For a story where Captain Adamant is evil, this could be much worse. See, you have gotten to re-hear that bit from the preview at the start. Exciting. There's not much to this beyond the heroes fighting Captain Adamant. Although there is this bit where Captain Adamant, he kills one of the escapees, Mongoloid. Captain Adamant, he used the Villians to stage a jailbreak, but now that he is free, Captain Adamant is happy to execute these felons. A decent short sequence here with the Flask. He is using his speed to try and fight Captain Adamant. The characters didn't get much to do in this story, so this bit is welcome. And then this guy shows up, Pulsar from the Imperial Guard, another character from that team. This one, I off nah, but again it's the case that I didn't really know anyone besides the Flask and Sideburns who were on this team. And the comic is not doing a tremendous job of filling me in on who the others are. And I think Pulsar here might have been in part 1, and I didn't even notice him, which is a major problem. This is actually the last Days of Future's End issue I have. I didn't have any more tie-ins or any more of the main story. I would be interested in reading more, but I think it's something I would prefer to illegally download onto my computer than pay money for. DC's weekly series have a bad track record with me, and what I have read so far of Days of Future's End, it has been a big case of diminishing returns. After this, they got into another crossover called Convergences, and I have some Convergences comics that I can review. I have got Booster Gold, I've got Captain Marbles, the real one, Biffy Baston, which is by Jeff Parkman, and it is really, really good. I have got some others. I've got Justice Society of Superheroes. That one isn't very good. I've got Blue Beetles, but I think I reviewed them both quite early on. They're good. I've probably got one or two others as well that I'm forgetting about. Green Lanterns. I've got a Green Lanterns one. Convergences was a weird crossover, but it allowed for some interesting 2-issue tie-in mini-series that brought back classic versions of characters or teams. It was a very nostalgia-heavy crossover. The premise was milking your nostalgia, basically. But after the New 52, that is to be applauded. Who the fuck is this guy in a golden helmet as well? I thought it was maybe Mankiller at first, but I've really not heard of him ever before. And why is he on the Justice League? What are his powers even? Really bad job of setting up these characters for a reader. The only one that I feel is really built up is Snowbird. She was introduced in part 1, and I feel like I have gotten to know her a bit. After her, it's honestly Captain Adamant who has received the most characterization. I'm not complaining about that, but a Justice League story is not succeeding if it ignores most of the team. I am happy reading comics about Captain Adamant though, even pretty lame New 52 ones. I like Captain Adamant. I've not reviewed one of his comics in a while. I'll try and think of a good issue to review. He didn't have a Convergences miniseries, but he was in the Blue Beetles one. I like Sexy Ivy the most though. She is great. In the end, the Vision, he shuts down Captain Adamant's mind, and he will rebuild the Vision, he will rebuild the prison, and continue his duty to oversee the incarceration of these deadly enemies. It's an okay comic. For a 2-part story, it felt like it really was lacking something. It is 2 issues, but it feels like one stretched out to 2. Before I conclude, I also want to add to a point I made recently. I was talking about the couch as made famous by the backgrounds of my videos. I want to acknowledge that I am aware of Ashens. I used to watch his videos a lot, but the couch, it isn't intended as a rip-off of him. When I made my first video, I only had two options of what to film against, and it was me bed or me couch. And the couch is pretty good for these sorts of reviews. I did get a music stand a year or two into it, and I considered moving over to that, but I felt that would be a controversial change. Kind of like those 50 or so videos where I had a blanket on the couch. Remember them? And the cushions. I used to sometimes have the cushions in view. This isn't a very comfy couch either, but one thing it was cheap. I have felt the need to address that comparison for a while now, actually. It's not intentional, it's really not intentional, but I've always been aware that he reviews electronic tart and out-of-date food with the exact same setting. This channel is getting too meta this week, so I'm done reviewing this comic with 7 thumbs up, and now I am going to edit out the 3 seconds of silence and pre-roll at the beginning and end, and then I am going to upload it to YouTube and schedule it to debut at 2 PM GMT.